You really think love can be signed on paper? She snapped, waving the crumpled contract in his face. Her voice shook, not from fear, but from the audacity of what he had just proposed. The man in the tailored suit didn't flinch. His jaw tightened. 30 days. Be my wife in name, and in return, you'll never have to scrub floors again. His tone was cold, rehearsed, as if feelings were beneath him. The kitchen fell silent, save for the dripping faucet. Her hands, calloused from years of cleaning, trembled as she gripped the contract. For her, this wasn't a fairy tale proposal. It was an insult, a deal dressed as love. But behind her anger hid something deeper, desperation. Her mother's hospital bills were piling up. She'd been working double shifts, mopping marble floors she'd never walk on as an equal. And here was this arrogant millionaire dangling salvation in front of her, but with chains attached. She spat the words back at him. "You can buy my time, but not my heart." Yet that night, alone in her small room, she stared at the contract under the dim glow of her bedside lamp. Every page whispered the same temptation, freedom. The next morning, with her chest heavy, she signed. The mansion gates opened for her not as a maid, but as a wife. The staff who once ignored her now bowed. Silk replaced her cotton, diamonds replaced her simple silver cross, and by his side, cameras flashed, tabloids speculated. She was no longer invisible. But behind closed doors, their world was different. He treated her like a business partner. Dinners were silent, their conversations scripted. He never smiled, never softened. The contract forbade love, and he enforced it ruthlessly. And yet, cracks began to show. One rainy night, she found him sitting in the library, staring at a photo of a younger version of himself with a woman in a hospital bed. His mask slipped, just for a second. His voice broke as he whispered, "She said I'd never learn to love again." It was the first time she saw him not as a millionaire, but as a broken man. Slowly, the walls between them thinned. He began walking her to breakfast, asking about her dreams, even smiling at her clumsy jokes. She discovered he loved the same folk songs her mother used to hum. And when she cut her finger cooking, he panicked, rushing to bandage it himself, his hands shaking as if she were made of glass. The 30 days ticked by. Each one blurred the line between contract and connection. What began as staged hand-holding became real warmth. What began as duty became longing. But on the 30th day, the contract ended. He placed the papers on the dining table, his expression unreadable. "Our agreement is fulfilled. You're free to go." His voice was flat, but his eyes, they were begging her to stay. Her heart shattered. She realized then she no longer wanted freedom, she wanted him. Not the money, not the mansion, him. Tears welled as she whispered, "Do you really think love can be signed on paper?" The same words she had once thrown at him, now trembling with truth. For the first time, the man who built his empire on power and pride broke. He dropped to his knees, ripping the contract apart with shaking hands. "Then don't go. Not for 30 days, not for a contract. Stay. For me." In that moment, the maid and the millionaire weren't bound by ink or signatures. They were bound by something stronger, pain, healing, and love born from the most unlikely place. She fell into his arms, and for the first time, it wasn't a deal, a game, or a performance. It was real. The staff, watching from the shadows, erupted into quiet applause. For once, the mansion wasn't filled with silence, but with something richer than wealth, hope. And so the maid who agreed to 30 days of love found a lifetime instead. So, sometimes love doesn't begin with roses or romance. Sometimes it begins with a contract, a fight, or even an insult. But true love always tears through the walls we build to protect ourselves. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button and drop a karma in the comments below.